From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
American Door Company has been family-owned and operated for over 29 years, supplying Northern California with quality garage doors, garage door openers, and installed with the best service you'd expect from a locally owned company. We serve all of Northern California from Willows all the way to the Oregon state line. Give us a call today.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist Mike Kruger. This is your afternoon update. We've got a warming trend this week, with warming back up in the triple digits for the valley and even some of the higher elevations getting that. Not as hot this weekend, though, especially by the second half of the weekend. Also tracking the potential for showers and thunderstorms for some of the higher elevations. Your neighborhood forecast at a glance for today, there are those triple digits in the valley, 90s, 80s for the higher elevations. And boy, we're going to be talking around 70 for many of us along the coast here later on this afternoon. Should be just a gorgeous day along the coast. But the winds, the thing is, they're not going to be terrible. They're not terrible today. They're not terrible for your Wednesday. And they're not terrible for your Thursday either. Yeah, a little breezy in some spots here, upwards of around 15 miles per hour. But we, for the most part, should stay below 15 miles per hour. However, it's still going to be very dry out there as we take you through this afternoon. We are in the single digits for the valley, and not to mention many of the higher elevations. And if you're not in the single digits, then maybe a little bit more moisture into the teens for the higher elevations. That's going to be the case here through your Thursday. It looks like the humidity levels may increase a little bit for some on Thursday, but bottom line, hot and dry. When you factor that in here with the fire weather risk here, yeah, today it's in that moderate to high range for the valley, low to moderate for the higher elevations. Going into your Wednesday, a bit of a different story. Now we're in that high to very high range for the valley, and in the even the high to very high range for parts of central Siskiyou County, and it looks like still in that moderate range, low to moderate range here for the eastern mountains. And of course, taking you into your Thursday, looks like we're still going to be looking at that higher fire danger increasing. Now, it's not just the fire danger that we got to watch out for, but it's the heat as well. You'll notice we have a heat advisory in September. You can see the heat advisory is for the Sacramento Valley and the surrounding foothills for Wednesday through Friday, with highs upwards of 107 degrees. For western Siskiyou County, a heat advisory, but just for Thursday. Now, just because many of these other areas don't have a heat advisory or excessive heat watch or even a warning, doesn't mean it won't be hot there as well. Now, some of you might be scratching your heads and, quite honestly, maybe even rolling your eyes at this advisory. I get it. Many of you are used to the heat around here. We all are. Many of us are. But some of us are new to the area, may not used to this kind of heat. There are others who just don't quite have the same health that you do. And it's a little bit more difficult to process this heat. And on top of that, others just don't have access to AC like many of us do. So here's the National Weather Service heat risk guidelines. Number one, how unusual is this heat for this time of the year? This is actually unusual. The normal high in the valley is around 95, 96 degrees. So we'll be about 10 degrees above normal for this time of the year. Now, the duration of the heat, including both daytime and nighttime temperatures. When we see those nighttime temperatures stay fairly warm and mild and we don't get much recovery, that can also play a factor as well. Now, if those temperatures pose an elevated risk to heat-related impacts based on data from the CDC, and what they basically mean is elderly, young children, your pets, these are, different people and, of course, animals that we need to keep a close eye on. Sure, you may be healthy, and you may have plenty of water to drink, and you may have a place to cool off, but there are others out there that don't. And when you start getting into that 105 plus, that's when things can start getting a little bit more dangerous, again, for those that don't have quite the same amount of access that you do to help to stay cool. All right, so again, just a few things to kind of keep in mind. So the reason why we're getting hot out there is this heat is going to be expanding. So we've got this big ridge of high pressure that's going to be in place really over the western United States. Now, it peaks around Wednesday, Thursday, and we start to see it slowly retreat down to the south and east by the end of the week. This right here is a weak trough of low pressure. It does have some more mild air associated with it, and this will allow our temperatures to drop slightly. But keep in mind, it's still hot even into the first half of the weekend. By Sunday, we've got this trough of low pressure that, number one, is going to bring us a shot of some cooler air. And number two, as it does move closer to us and to our north, it could even bring a chance for some showers, especially for the north end of Northern California. So let's talk about that chance for rain here real quickly. You can see here, this is the area of low pressure that's moving on out of here. That's why our temperatures are increasing and high pressure is building back in. But when we look at Futurecast, here you can see for today, not much going on, right? Tomorrow, not much going on either. We do expect to mainly see sunny skies even for the coast. Now, as we go into your Thursday, still looking at those sunny skies. But by Friday, this is when things change a little bit here. You can see there's the possibility for the mountains seeing a chance for some showers and maybe even some thunderstorms. On Saturday, latest forecast model not really showing much. However, I'm still keeping that chance in there for especially maybe the northern Sierra. Then by Sunday, Monday of next week, it's looking dry again. But look at this. By next Tuesday, there is that approaching storm system. Now, this is a long way out. The long-range forecast models are really having a hard time figuring out what to exactly do with this area of low pressure. The forecast model run before this had that low pressure system coming down from to our west, not moving to our north. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this for next week. But bottom line, there is an area of low pressure and cooler air associated with all that, and that's what's going to help to keep our temperatures below normal as we go into next week. But not necessarily the case this week, right? You can see a high of basically 100 degrees, give or take, for the valley today. 80s, even some 90s for some of the higher elevations, and even around 70 along the coast. So let's take a look at your 7-day outlook, starting off with the valley. The peak of this heat wave, as I mentioned, will be Thursday. Now, we're not going to see much of a drop on Friday, still very hot, but then temperatures starting to show signs of cooling off by Saturday, but still right around 100 degrees here for Saturday in the valley, but then low to mid 90s by Sunday and Monday as we go into the beginning of next week. We take a look at your coast, and there you can see about 70 degrees here. Temperatures dropping slightly, but just not as dramatic as everywhere else. Inland, you're up to about 104 Wednesday, Thursday. There's that slight chance for showers, maybe some thunderstorms on Friday, and then temperatures do start to dip after that, especially for your Sunday and into your Monday. Looking at Siskiyou County, Modoc County, and the Eastern Mountains. Now again, I've kept that chance for showers and thunderstorms here for Friday, Saturday. Bottom line, with the rain, with the chance for thunderstorms, is say stay tuned to forecast. Why? Because there's still a lot to fine tune, and the forecast models are really still having a difficult time exactly pinpointing where that rain is going to be, the timing of it, the intensity of it, the works. But certainly something worth watching by the end of the week, and even quite possibly into the first half of the weekend.
At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too. Because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.